I'm Mike Sheridan and you're very welcome to The Delve. Owen Roddy is widely considered to be one of the best mixed martial arts fighters to ever come out of SBG Ireland. After his retirement from fighting a couple of years ago, he concentrated on building his own gym, SBG Charlestown, and he's just opened a huge new facility there where he is the head coach. Owen is also known for being UFC superstar Conor McGregor's striking coach and was his head coach for the Mayweather fight last August. Owen Roddy, thanks so much for coming in and not wearing Gymshark. Yeah. Every time I see you now, you're normally in the gym. You actually put because you've just been teaching a class this morning in SBG Charlestown. You actually put a nice t-shirt and a pair of jeans on.
Yeah, I got dressed up. So I don't usually wear jeans. I'll dress up, or I'll dress up for you. Usually in the gym and from the gym straight back to the gaff and back to the gym. That's my life these days.
Because you're always mental busy, because obviously you're working in SBG Concord as well, and now SBG Charlestown's been there for a while, and before that was Primal. How many years now has it been since Primal started?
It's about 8 years.
About 8 years. Yeah. So now this summer, and I just mentioned at the top there, you've opened a new facility. So this one is 2 floors, multiple classes.
Yeah, your new baby.
Your new baby, you've got a physio and everything there, offices, everything there. Are you less busy now, or are you kind of more busy because you've been going between 2 places for so long?
I'm still busy. I'm still busy. I'm still over in Concord, and I'm in the new facility now, and I'm just kind of launching new programs each week. So Thai boxing starts tonight. The new MMA program starts next week. We have an MMA fit program coming in just before August, and then I'm doing I'm going to take on 30 kids from Ballymun. I'm going to go around all the areas, but I'm starting in Ballymun. I'm going to take.
So that's where you're from, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm from Ballymun. So I'm going to take about 30 kids from the area, you know what I mean, and bring them in and train them for 8 weeks, and then give 2 of them a scholarship. After the 8 weeks, then I'm going to move on to Finglas and Coolock, and I'm just going to get around the areas and try and give kids an opportunity to train in SBG Charlestown and train under me.
So how's that going to work, and how's the scholarship part of it going to work? They get to go to a college, or?
No, it's a martial arts scholarship through us, so it's a year's free training. So basically, they train with us for 8 weeks. I'll do a session every week with them. The best prospects get 1 year's free training under me.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we can see if we can mould them into the next Conor McGregor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you've taught the kids for a very long time, and we've kind of talked a bunch about this before. I did the Q&A with you at the opening in your gym last week.
That's right.
But you were talking about how you can see at a very young age that which of these kids are gifted, which of these kids has the mental capacity to maybe kick on and be experts in jiu-jitsu or ultimately be MMA.
There's definitely telltale signs, and you can see very, very quickly. It's down to, obviously their attitude. At a very young age, you'll see some kids that, kids will be kids. Some kids are more fascinated with what's going on around them, and then other kids are fascinated about what's being taught. Okay, so you watch out for them. And then when they're practicing the techniques, some kids, will find it a lot harder to pick up the steps. They won't have the coordination. Some kids will.
Like me.
Yeah, but you'll figure out a different way. You'll be more figure it out on the go. Yeah. Some kids. So you're just looking for these little telltale signs that okay, this kid has the potential to go all the way. Yeah. And then it's moulding them and keeping them through the teen years. Like I'm teaching kids 16 years now, and kids are very motivated and they love it, especially when their parents are bringing them up. 3 times a week, they're jumping into the car, they go up training, blah blah blah, and then they hit 16 and that they discover girls, and then they might be going out to discos and blah blah blah, or doing whatever they're doing, and they fade out for a little bit. But if you get them back, or if they still train every so often, and you get them back at around 19, then they've got a lot of potential. Then, do you know what I mean? Some fade away and don't come back. But the ones that do come back and they've been consistent for the years beforehand, they've got a great chance of going all the way.
Why do you think there's been such a backlash? Because MMA is obviously peaked with Conor, and there's been such a huge focus on it in Ireland in particular, because he's biggest athlete in the world right now, probably, with like kids training and kids training in mixed martial arts. Do you think that it's misconstrued to some point, that people see fighting and they assume that 7 and 8 year olds are going to be going in and doing this, when it's really not it at all? It's all movement and stuff.
Exactly. People need to come in and see a class. None of my kids and any of the programs do MMA. They do the single aspects of MMA. So they'll come in, they'll do boxing one day, and then on a Tuesday they'll do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. On a Wednesday they'll do wrestling or, you know, toy boxing or something like that. So they do the individual arts, and then they may do drills to mix them all together, but they don't go in and compete in mixed martial arts. You can only do that as an adult in Ireland, and you know, Ireland is probably the strictest policy on amateur mixed martial arts in the world. It actually has the strictest policy, like brain scans and blood tests, and you know, pre and post medicals. So you know, we're well ahead of the game when it comes to amateur mixed martial arts and mixed martial arts for kids, like, you know. And
that's been the Safe MMA, the implementation that Safe MMA has brought in. So if anybody wants to fight on any kind of card in Ireland now and get the fighters, because that's obviously big, the gyms have to be involved in that.
Yeah.
There has to be testing, there has to be blood tests, there has to be scans.
Yeah, it all has to go through the IMA, which is the Irish Amateur Mixed Martial Arts Association, which was set up almost 2 years ago now. And we're in the process of getting recognised by Sport Ireland. But one, I mean, you can't just sign up and do this. Your coach and your club has to be recognised by IMA. Once you're recognised, then you have to go through all the medical procedures. You have to have your blood tests. You have to have your baseline brain scan, and then you have to, you know, eye tests and all of this stuff. All has to be done before you even go in and get a chance to compete. And then, you know, after that, there's scans again. Like if you're knocked out unconscious, there's bans. So there's a lot of stuff, but I mean, it makes the sport safer, and you know, I think that's great for us, you know.
It's a good conversation to be having, I think, in general with contact sports, whatever about combat sports, because it's something that we've seen a lot with rugby. Like there's massive conversations going on now with concussions in rugby, and those scans are obviously super important, especially at an amateur level. That's not something you get really in any other amateur sports.
No, not
that I know of anyway.
No, without a doubt. Ireland is from what I know now, I'm not 100%, but I think Ireland is the first country, especially in mixed martial arts, to have baseline scans for the amateur athletes. It's great. It's amazing. And you know, I'm sure a lot of people have got out of the way of putting themselves in serious risk from getting a baseline scan and noticing certain things on their brain, or, you know what I mean, that they could have been fighting in other sports, they could have been competing. But with amateur mixed martial arts, you have that baseline scan. If there's any signs that there's potential danger, then you're notified, and either you can't do it or you can't. It depends on, obviously, that's down to the doctor, I suppose. But no, it's brilliant. It's amazing. And I think the sport is going to grow, and I think every other country is going to look at Ireland and look at how we do it and adopt the same mentality.
It's kind of pioneers in that sense nationally.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think people will look at you now because you've obviously found like a huge level of fame. You got recognised twice in about 15 feet there from the car parking outside up to the studio.
As I said, that was me ma. That was me ma and my auntie waving at me.
There's that humility on.
Yeah,
so you're so humble.
I know, it's weird. I don't know. It is a bit strange. Like, it is a bit strange.
But do these people realise? I mean, because so many people like Owen's such a gentleman. He's such a nice guy. I'm like, watch Owen's highlight reel when he's a fighter on YouTube.
Yeah, I've got very soft. It's weird because I remember talking to John, my trainer, and I'd be looking at my guys training and sparring, and you're looking at some guys have just a killer instinct, like, and they show no mercy, like, you know what I mean. And you have to have that if you want to go all the way, like, you know. I watch some fighters in the gym, and you know, their opponent is hurt. You can visibly see they're hurt. You know, when I'm moving around with people now, if I've hurt somebody, I'll let up and I'll just back off and I'll let them back into the sparring. That's what I preach now. But then you see some of my fighters, they don't. They're straight in for the throat, like they're in for the jugular. You know what I mean? And I was saying this to John. I says, like, it's weird, like, you know what I mean, the way lads are going in for the kill, like. And he was like, you were just as bad. He says, I just seen you. I seen any time you went in and moved around with anybody, you sparred anybody, okay, even if you smelled a hint of fear or like that, you just go through them and drop them. You dropped them with a knee, and that was it, like. And I was like, oh, that's gone now. You know, I think as you get older and stuff like that, I don't think you feel like you need to prove yourself as much anymore. I think you're more comfortable in your own skin, so you don't need to prove a point. And you calm down, and especially being a coach now, you're trying to keep as many people in the gym as possible.
Yeah.
One, to keep the gym going, obviously, and two, to keep bodies in there for your fighters.
Yeah.
You know, the more bodies you have, the
people aren't injured.
Yeah,
and all that
exactly. The different types of body and the different opponents, you need as many of them as possible. So you need to keep as many people there as you can. If you have a guy in there just putting people away and they'll never come back to the gym, it's, you know, it's not good.
You don't want to make somebody who's relatively new with one of your pros or something who's getting ready for a fight and is in that fight camp mode as well.
If they're in camp, then you bring in the right appropriate people when they're in camp that can deal with that. But yeah, it is funny. As I said, it's funny to watch. It's funny to see how you kind of ease up and you get a bit older.
Yeah. I was chatting to, well, I wasn't chatting, I was actually watching them do an interview for East from TriStar talking about GSP and GSP's camps and how we would hard spar, which I wrote. Fantastic interview. And he's such a smart guy and he's got such a smart brain for the sport. It's unbelievable. But he's a proponent of hard sparring, but kind of sporadic hard sparring that, you know, you don't want to be in gym wars. Where would you sit on that? You'd be like the right guys.
I'd have the same opinion. You can't, like, I mean, I used to spar all day, every day, 3 times a day. It was in camp, I would just sparring like a mad thing. When I was out of camp, I would be sparring every day nearly. Hard spars, you know, but your body can't take that, like, you know what I mean? As I say, most fighters, you know what I mean, they'll say that they've had that, you know, toughest fights and toughest, you know, spars in the gym, like, you know, it's you know, you're sparring 10 or 15 rounds and you've a fresh body coming in and they're all killers and you're taking big shots and you're staying in there. It can't be good for your brain and for your body over the long period of time. Where if you're, you know, sparring with control, you know, with some level of control, with smart sparring partners where they know not to take your head off, and you can do that for longer periods of time. You know what I mean? And that's what obviously Faraz was saying. It's about longevity and it's about being consistent and being able to train every day. And if you're smashing each other up in the gym on a daily basis, then something's going to give. There's usually 1 or 2 guys will come out of that, the alpha males, the best guys, and they'll progress. They'll do amazing things because they're better than everybody else. So they have the bodies, and they, you know, if they're better, they're not taking the punishment. They're staying fresh. They're just putting people away, and it's great for the confidence, and it's great for the. You know, it's great being able to go in and put people away. It boosts you up, and you know, it's the other guys that are just falling by the wayside. They're
not learning anything. They might be their development more.
And they're not committing as well. Like if I go into a spar and I know you're 100 times better than me, and if I go in and try and put it on you, you're gonna knock me out. Then I'm gonna be defensive mode. I'm gonna be hands high, elbows in, chin down, and just covering and trying to survive. I'm not gonna be trying to learn anything new. Do you know what I mean? So you need to have, you know, people that can go at a certain level where nobody's getting hurt, but it's still competitive. It's still very competitive, and that's what I try and implement in my gym. Obviously, when they're in camp, you bring guys in and we let them spar, and it's almost like a fight, but it'll be once a week.
Headgear,
you know, maybe the bigger gloves as well, and they do it once a week with somebody same weight, and that's just to get used to walking into a cage, no tops on. Close the cage, you're in here for 15 minutes and do your thing. And it just kind of reinforces you doing the walk to the cage, and, you know, it's like fight simulation, I suppose.
Remember, Forrest Griffin did that on the season of The Ultimate Fighter that he was coaching.
Right.
He did fight simulations all the time, and he made sure to have the guys have their walkout music. Yeah. So you really need to be in that mindset in there to feel what it's like before fight night and the kind of the nerves of fight night.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than it being your first time to experience all of this on fight night. It's terrifying. You've done it yourself, like, you know what I mean? You never fought in a cage before. You done it. There's nothing more intimidating than walking out into a crowd of people, drunk people, all screaming. Some hate you, some love you. It is the case. You're going in, you know, you're watching people. You know, if you're on the middle of the card, you're watching people coming out busted up. Some people winning, some people losing. It's chaotic. It's crazy. And you're going in, and this is the first time I've never done any of this before in my life. I'm going into a cage. This is mental. So if you can do fight simulation in the gym, in your own gym, and if you have the facility to do it, you know, that's why I'm so happy with my facility now. We have the cage. We can go into a dressing room, and you're in this dressing room, you're in that dressing room. Do a little warm up, come out and fight. You know what I mean? And get you used to doing that kind of that walk and getting into the zone and knowing. Right, it's go time. Once you start walking to the cage, you're focused 100%.
And even like having a ref in the cage as well.
Having somebody pick you up on you know, wherever you're doing, or tell you to walk when you're not walking and stuff like that. As I said, the more familiar that becomes, the easier it is. That's why the amateur scene is the amateur athletes that are coming through the ranks now are going to be 100 times better than what's been before them, because they're getting so much more experience. They're competing very regular. They're getting into the cage on a regular basis on these big shows, and they've had 20 or 30 fights before they even turn pro. Where me, I trained for less than a year and went in and fought pro straight away. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know what I was doing. I was just taught. Now you know what? My mentality was different. I always thought to myself, like, I was very nervous. I always thought that, like, you know, I don't know whether I'm going to win. I don't know what's going to happen. This guy could kill me. You know, I was very doubtful. I would always go through the fight a million times in my head. But the one thing I always stuck by was, when I'm in there, I'm there till the death, and that's it. You see, like, you'll have to put me away. I'll just get up and I'll keep going. Even if I'm exhausted, I'll just keep pushing. And that was something I always had in the back of my head, that even when I was in bad situations and fights, I always knew just to keep pushing. You never know, Owen, if you fight for another second, he might give up on it. You never know, Owen. You know, I know you're on your back, but if you keep scrambling, you might get back to guard. And I would just keep doing that. I'd never give up until I was out or until it was over.
But that's something you really can't teach. And that's something you must notice in students, and been coaching for 16 years. That's something that's in somebody, right? That kind of grit, that kind of grind.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, that is. I mean, you can teach it to an extent, but, you know, if people are willing to die in there, it's a rarity. You know what I mean? It's not the smartest thing to do either. Like, you know what I mean? But, you know, I would always just say, just fight for your last breath. Fight as much as you can. And you see that some kids are just stubborn, and it's frustrating as well. You have an armbar on some kid, and, like, he's a young kid, because I have a few kids in the gym, like, and, you know, armbar's fully on, and the guy's just squirming and just constantly fighting. Or you've wrestled them for ages, and you eventually get him down, and the guy's just scrambling to get back up straight away. For me, after doing all of that, it's very frustrating that the guy just pops back up to his feet. It's like you know what I mean. It's like you're knacker.
That's something I think that people don't realise as well. Wrestling, how exhausting going for a takedown is, and missing a takedown on somebody that keeps coming.
Yeah.
How do you feel about looking back at your fighting career now? I mean, you're retired a good few years now. You've had huge success as a coach, literal global success as a coach.
Yeah.
How do you feel looking back?
Yeah, I'm happy. I always was happy with what I did. A bit disheartened that I never reached. As I said when I started out, I set a goal to fight in the UFC, but that never happened. But I mean, you have to.
You beat UFC guys though outside of the UFC.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, but it's, you know what I mean. I wanted the gloves. It was always something I wanted. I just wanted to put the gloves on and walk out and do it, because, you know, I like to set goals and achieve them. Like, you know what I mean. But that wasn't meant to be. Such is life. You can give out about it and get all depressed, which I was for a while. I was like, a couple of months, I was like, this is a load of crap. I'm sick of it. What'll I do? You know what I mean? But then you pick another path, and I just focus on the coaching. And you know what? I think I've done more. I've had more success as a coach than I have as a fighter, and I've had a lot of success as a fighter. So I'm happy with both careers. I enjoyed the fighting. I always loved competing. I loved training. I was always nervous getting in, but when I was in there, I was on it, like, and I was trying to outwork the opponent, trying to figure them out, trying to outsmart them and stuff like that. And then when I became a coach, it's different, but you still get a similar buzz. You're giving these guys the tools. It's a little bit more nerve-wracking because you're not in control. You can only give them.
You've always got more nervous for your fighters.
Yeah, you can only give them the knowledge that you have, and then let them free and see what they do. You've no control over what goes on in there. You know what I mean?
Would you ever compete again, maybe in jiu-jitsu or?
I keep saying it.
Because you're a high-level black belt now. You're to black belt a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I keep saying I would love to compete jiu-jitsu, but
time.
It's you know, with the new gym. I know these are excuses. People say, that's just an excuse, but I have a brand new gym. I have 3 kids. So I don't know. I'll never say never. I think I will compete again. It's just when. I don't know when.
Yeah.
You know. I want the gym to be busy and you know, making half decent money, so I can pay the guys to coach the classes while I can train for myself, you know, because I'm only getting in half an hour at the end of every class rolling with the guys. The guys are getting very good as well, so they're good rounds, but I need to be, you know, improving as well, you know what I mean? So who knows? You never know.
Where do you think, and I want to move on then to the more recent stuff then,
Yeah.
but where do you think MMA, Irish MMA, is right now and will be in the next few years? Because there's been this like almost Italian 90 effect with Irish MMA, because there were so many fighters like Paddy, Conor, Cathal, Ash, Neil Seary, having so much success, and Gunny, who we can kind of claim because he trains with Gunny Nelson, but there was so much success in such a small space of time that there became this massive focus on MMA.
Yeah.
And I mean, naturally with these things, that's petered off a little bit, but you've still seen those big numbers in the gym. Obviously, that's what you do for a living. But where do you see Irish MMA at the moment globally, and where do you see it in the next couple of years?
obviously, the time, the O2, go back to the O2 when we had all the guys, 5 or 6 Irish guys in the UFC. That was the peak. It was unbelievable. And now a couple of them have retired and stuff like that. And now we've only got we've got Conor, Artem fights out of Ireland, Artem, and we've got a couple of guys coming back through. But it comes in waves. You know what I mean? It was the same in the UK when you had loads of fighters in the UK and the UFC, and it kind of died out a little bit. The next wave is building. The next group of talent is fighting on just the smaller shows, on the Bellators, and fighting on Bahamas and Cage Warriors and all, just before you hit the UFC, and they're all having success, and they're going to break through again. You know what I mean? It just comes in waves like that. But Irish MMA is booming at the moment. Like we had a good few medals in the amateurs there only recently as well. It's great, and the talent pool is just growing and growing. So just watch this space, I suppose.
And okay, more specifically to you then, for the past 5 years, it feels like it's absolutely after flying. And you had kind of an insane experience there last August when the McGregor Mayweather fight was announced, and you were Conor's head coach for that fight because it was a boxing fight. You're Conor McGregor's striking coach. Yeah. John kind of took a slight step back, was still there. Obviously, was still there for the camp. Yeah. Looking back now, how do you feel about that experience? Because it seemed there was kind of talk, and then it happened super quickly. So Conor only had a couple of months really to prepare. Yeah, it was amazing.
Sporting, it was the best experience in my life. Like, you know what I mean? Who gets to do that? Like, who gets to, obviously if it was boxing, who gets to compete against Floyd Mayweather? Like, as a coach, who gets to, help a guy come up with a game plan and go win a fight against Floyd Mayweather? A select few, very, very small few. Who gets to come from a different sport to a crossover and do that? Nobody. There's only us that has ever done it. And then to go in, and obviously the experience, the whole camp, the whole world tour, the whole experience was just, out of this world. And it was an amazing challenge, and for me to come back now, it's never just me coming up with a game plan, or Conor, or it's always a team effort. Like, and it's the same with the MMA as well. Everybody sits down, and we all give opinions, and we all talk about shots that might work and shots that we need to watch out for and stuff like that. And we build a game plan around that, So that's the way it was worked. It was just I was at the forefront because I was the striking coach, usually it's Sean. But it was an amazing experience, and something I'll never forget. I'm happy that I done it. Obviously disappointed with the result because a couple of minor changes, and it could have been different. You know what I mean?
Do you think Conor hasn't gotten the credit for those rounds that he won in those fights? Hasn't gotten the proper. It's like 3 rounds in, Conor was winning that fight.
Yeah, most definitely. He doesn't get the credit, but he was never going to get the credit. He'd probably get a bit of credit off the mixed martial arts community, but not off the boxing community.
And the mixed martial arts community did, because Conor's obviously a polarising figure. It's just part of his personality. Yeah. But the MMA community really did get behind him for that.
Yeah. I mean, like, I just think Conor doesn't get the credit he really deserves in everything he does because of the character he is. You know what I mean? People think he's too cocky or too brash and stuff like that, but you can't deny what he's done. And he was the only person in the world that could have done what he did, the crossover. Nobody else could have done it. You know what I mean? It just takes somebody of his caliber to come across to meet Mayweather to do it. Only those 2 guys could have built that. You know what I mean? And it was an amazing experience. It was an amazing spectacle for everybody, you know what I mean, for the boxing community and for the mixed martial arts community. It was amazing for both fighters as well. They made a lot of money, and they put on a great show. It was a great fight because Conor was winning the first half of it, Well, you know, maybe on points they'll say he wasn't, but let's say he was in it. He was landing shots. He was slipping and firing shots, and then Mayweather came back and took over in the later rounds and won. But it was an amazing, amazing fight.
This is the best boxer, arguably the best boxer of all time.
Yeah,
people have said that. That's something that, you know, I suppose the casual fans maybe don't really grasp properly. That
and he's done it to everybody,
every
other fighter as well.
Canelo, all of these guys. Yeah,
you know what I mean. And Conor, as you said, there's no denying the statistics. Conor landed more shots than any of them. And you know, people will have other excuses. His age, and he was letting Conor land. Nobody lets you land a shot. Like that's not. Nobody will let you land a shot. If you can go in there and make a miss and stuff like that, you make a miss. You're not taking shots for free. But you know, it was an amazing night. I'll look back in years. I'll look back at what I was part of and what I've achieved, and I'll be very grateful. And
we've spoken about this before as well, but MMA fans can be amazing. They can be the best fans in the world.
Yeah.
And then you can look at a comment section and it's just like a nuclear bomb has gone off. Specifically whenever Conor McGregor's mentioned, or if we did a YouTube video there a couple of weeks ago for the launch of Gym. Yeah. And the comments they're kind of mental. Do you pay attention to any of that? Is it hard not to pay attention
no,
to it?
If I put up something, or if I'm looking at an interview, I'll look at the comments, and I'll look at, and a lot of them are...
I was looking at the comments, lads.
A lot of them are bad, but like... That's it. It's great. Like I always say it. Like if somebody giving me stick online makes them feel good, I'm happy to help. Like that's all it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like if they feel like I'm at giving him hell online, I'm at calling him this and that, I feel great after that. Then I'm happy for you.
But like, you're reading the comments. Yeah, you are reading the comments.
Depends. Some them. Yeah, I wouldn't like. I mean, if I look at an interview,
they should be worried. They should be worried. Like, don't have your avatar. Don't have your picture up.
No, Jesus. Like, I don't care. Like, to be honest, like, it is what it is. You're gonna get good and bad.
Yeah.
And online, you get a lot of bad. But I always say as well. I do find that some people are very creative with what they say. It's great, and you know, they'll come up with some top-notch stuff. Like, you know what I mean. But yeah,
we had a funny one when we did the chat, and it's on YouTube as well, of the launch of SBG Charlestown.
Right.
I think PT and MMA Fighting put it up on their channel, and whatever, it was an early morning kind of start, so I went to the Grove there early, and we did the Q&A with you first and stuff, and there was some press there, and I was kind of half asleep, and I was like, right, let's do this. And I could kind of realize, my girlfriend said to me, she was like, the back of your hair is kind of sticking up a bit there. And I was like, it'd be grand. It's like, there's a black background, you can't really see it.
Didn't want to say
Straight, there was a comment about it.
Yeah.
I was like, somebody actually noticed that.
No, it's crazy. It is crazy. But that's it. People will find something like, and I just leave them to it. You know what I mean? I don't bite. Like, people will give you, like, they'll say some nasty stuff as well. And if you bite, you're done. Yeah, don't focus. They'll be on you again. So like they'll say stuff, I'll just leave them to it. Like,
and I have to say, that's not exclusive to fans either. That's not exclusive to fanboys, because there was obviously a whole lot of carnage that went on in New York a few months ago. You weren't part of it all, but Khabib Nurmagomedov's manager, was like, and Owen Roddy like specifically named you as being a part of it. That's nuts. Did he
crazy? I don't know.
Did he pull a name from Conor's?
I don't know.
Training team,
I don't know.
Or what
maybe
did he do?
Maybe he just thought I was there. I don't know. I'm usually there for everything. I was on the plane heading over to Conor Artem. So I was in air when it all happened. But I don't know where it came from. It was crazy, and he was convinced. I just thought it was gas. He was convinced, like, and he done the interview on the Ariel Helwani show, and he was like, no. Ariel was like, I'm nearly convinced Don wasn't there. He was like, no, I seen him. He was throwing things and all, but obviously I wasn't there. And you know, I don't know, mistaken identity. It is what it is, but crazy. I got off and I got off the plane, and I heard, you know, that something had went down and Artem's fight was potentially off, and I was more concerned of what was going on with Artem. So I had a chat with Artem. He says, I'm still gonna keep. He was cutting weight, so he says, I'm still cutting weight and everything. I'm good to go. And then we got a phone call that night that it was off. So he was like, it is what it is. So we just jumped on the next plane home. You know, I don't have much time to spare. So
you've got 3 young girls.
I've got 3 girls, 8, 6, and 1. So I'm a busy man at the best of times. Do you know what I mean? So as soon as the fight was off, and I was supposed to go to the launch of the opening of Gymshark's new
He You're a Gymshark athlete.
New building, yeah. I'm a Gymshark athlete. So they had scheduled me to come over, and I was like, unfortunately, I can't make it, guys, because I'm cornering at them. They were fine. It's no problem. It's grand. So you know, it was a bit of a nightmare. But I ended up getting home too late for that as well. So I just went home and chilled with the kids for the weekend, and that was it.
When did so all this carnage is going on? Because we were filming with Arthur for the Sports Chronicle all that week, and I was out for my birthday when all that went down. And I'd stayed in a hotel that night, and if I don't recognise the number, I generally don't answer it, but I remember it was RT Radio calling me, and then it was RT News calling me.
No, it was crazy.
And I seen Cottle Pendred in the gym, and I said, how is it that I'm the one that gets the calls and all this? One of us fought in the UFC.
Yeah.
He's like, I just don't answer the call, and it's probably a smart move.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to get involved in that. They'll put stuff in your mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah. So that was just a mad experience. But yeah, you know what? I'm as I said, the fighting career was great. The coaching career is going well. New gym. So that's where my focus is at the moment. You know.
How far out from a fight? We won't keep you much longer. Now to get back to your class. How far out from a fight with Conor, are you aware of what's going to happen, or are you aware that negotiations are happening with Dana White or happening with the UFC or Ariel Emanuel?
You know, all I know is Conor's training, and he's training. He's motivated.
There's a lot of wrestling and training by the looks of it.
There's a lot of wrestling going on, yeah. But he's motivated, and you know, that's always a good sign. You know, he done 4 years, back to back, non-stop, worked very hard. You know, went from, you know, just a kid from Ireland to, you know, probably actually the most known sporting athlete in the world at the moment. All from graft, all from hard work, like, you know what I mean? And after the Mayweather fight, he took some time off. He chilled. He took a well-deserved break. You know what I mean? And now he's back in the gym and he's training. I don't know whether he's negotiating with apparently I heard from Dana there yesterday. He says there hasn't been any negotiations.
Dana White isn't known for.
But you never know with him.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
any promoter, I suppose. Yeah.
All I know is Conor's training, motivated, excited about making a return. So, you know, as you said, who knows when it's coming. But I'm just happy to see him back training and enjoying training and improving. And
you enjoy obviously the puzzle aspect of figuring out when that opponent is named.
That's my favourite.
Be it Tony Ferguson, be it Diaz again, be it Khabib Nurmagomedov, be it GSP. You know, which one of those? Because obviously the Diaz fight has happened twice. Which one of those excites you the most? Not the fans. Which one excites you the most?
Yeah, probably. Well, geez, I don't know now. You see, which one would excite me?
Anything's going to be like a marquee event.
They're great. They're great. Like Khabib is a good puzzle. You know what I mean? We fought a wrestler in Mendes who's a phenomenal wrestler as well.
Underrated as well because it's been a few years since he fought. Like, people seem to forget about how good he was.
Phenomenal wrestler. Eddie Alvarez, a very high level wrestler as well. So we fought wrestlers. I know Khabib he's got a different style and he's got different. You know, he comes with different. He poses different problems and stuff like that. But you know, he can be worked out. Same with GSP if that was ever to happen as well. I think GSP is probably trickier. You know what I mean? He's a bit more well-rounded. You know, he's a phenomenal athlete as well. But great puzzles and whatever one of them. Like as I said, we've Ferguson as well. He's another tricky guy as well. And you know what? Maybe
good everywhere too.
Yeah, good everywhere. Very unpredictable. More so unpredictable than the other two guys. You know what you're going to get from Khabib and GSP. You know, Ferguson's just a bit of a mad thing as well. Like he'll just be throwing on mad stuff from everywhere. But I think if you stay disciplined with him and stick within the guidelines and don't get caught up in any of that mad stuff, you can break him down and you can beat them all. It's just coming up with the right game plan. And having the right mentality to do so. And
final question, what's been throughout all of this, through the biggest fights in UFC history, through one of the biggest boxing fights in sport in history, what's been the most surreal moment for you? Because we saw the tickets, how much the tickets were going ringside, how much they were going for the Mayweather-McGregor fight.
Yeah.
It was insane. So the most famous people on earth, the biggest superstars on earth. Has there been any moments in particular that have stood out for you to be like, "Oh, this is nuts. I can't believe."
Yeah, loads of them. God, loads of them. It's, every fight just got bigger and bigger. And obviously Conor always seems to do that. He, you know, you think you've reached the pinnacle. Okay, Conor's fighting. He's made it to the UFC. This is the biggest we're ever going to get. Oh, he's got the win. Jesus, this is even better. All right, now he's going over to Boston and he's fighting. That's even bigger. Or he's injured. He's done. He comes back. He fights in Dublin. First time he's anyone Irish has headlined the card in Dublin. Kills it. Or we want you in Vegas. Or we're all going to Vegas. This is insane. Then he kills it in Vegas. Then he's in Boston again and he fights Seaver. Kills it in Boston. Back for the interim belt. It's just been so many milestones.
Last minute change of opponents.
Yeah, like
all of that
you know,
stuff
you know that camp as well. The Mendes camp was just amazing. Just he's been so through so much in that camp. That camp, like you can see it in the movie as well. That was the hardest camp he's ever came through, and for all of us as well. Like I had bad stuff in that camp as well. Like I had to fly home early and for personal reasons and come back out and stuff like that. So. He had a nightmare of a weight cut. His knees was messed up. It was just so difficult. It was such a hard camp. And then for him to come through and win the belt and be in trouble in the fight as well, you know. Mendes was winning exchanges at times as well, and he took Conor down. Nobody knew what Conor would be like when he was on his back, and Conor proved them all wrong and escaped and got up and put him away. So, you know, maybe that, but then again, the sheer scale of the Mayweather fight was, I've never experienced that like that. They're all just amazing. I don't know. I'm a lucky man, to be honest. Like, you know, I'm from Ballymun. Like, very few people in the world get to go on this kind of roller coaster, and very, very few people from where I'm from, you know, get to do anything like that as well. So I'm just fortunate, happy, and I was in the right place at the right time, I suppose.
But it's funny because I saw Chris Martin going and doing a session from Coldplay, doing a session with John when he had the gig in Croker.
Yeah, that's
and you've been to the gig the night before.
I was sick. I was devastated.
But I spoke to Chris Pratt, who's obviously in the Jurassic Park movies off camera, and he was like, he would love to come over and train with you. Yeah. So somebody that like you and Kelly, you and your wife might be going to premieres and see him when you're
weird,
like, you could do a session with him in Charles, SBG Charlestown.
It's insane. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger walks into the gaff at that Mendes camp. Walks into the house like. We're like, oh my God, like. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He's an icon, yeah.
It's like, how does this even happen? Like, you're pinching yourself, but like, yeah, like I was devastated about
Chris Martin.
Chris Martin, sick. He was in doing pads. Like, if I had been there, I'd have been doing the pads around. Like, John could have done some grappling with him, like, but he wanted to do striking, and I was on a heavy session the night before, like, you know what I mean. So I was at the gig singing, "I love you," you know what I mean, and then he comes out and. There's a training session. Oh, yeah, actually, to be honest, I wasn't out that late because we were flying out for the World Tour, I think, the next morning. So I was up actually early the next morning and going to the airport to meet all the guys, and we were flying out to do the World Tour. It's actually the guys actually flew out an hour beforehand, so I missed them twice. I was sick.
Did you get to hang around with any rock stars that sort?
No, devastated. But maybe the next one.
So the new gym, it's 2 floors, multiple facilities, and anybody can come and join. Anybody can walk into the reception desk, give you a call first. How does it work?
Yeah, no, you can just give us a call. You can come in.
Numbers on the Facebook page.
Yeah,
numbers everywhere.
You'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Come in, we'll give you a free consultation. We'll find out what you're looking to do, whether you want to get fit, and you just do want to do an MMA fit program where you're sick of the gym and you want to just come in and hit pads and do drills and stuff like that. You don't have to fight. You don't have to.
You've got a weight room there.
You don't have to spar. We've got a weights room. You can come in and do that. If you're an athlete and you want to compete, you can go in and do the introduction program, so we know what you're doing, and then move on up to the more advanced classes. You can do Thai boxing, kickboxing, everything. We cater for everything. Weights. There's physical therapists there as well. Everything you need. So if anyone wants to come up and try a class, just find us and book yourself in, and we'll be happy to accommodate.
It's a fantastic facility, Owen, and I love training there myself. Great to see you as always, Coach.
Cheers.
Thanks a mil.
Thank you.